Section 12.8, real estate. So we're going to be computing the annual net income, annual yield, and a monthly rent to charge on an investment in real estate rental property. So if you ever have rental property, obviously you're going to get monthly rent from the people that are living there, but sometimes the monthly rent doesn't cover everything that you need it to cover. How do you know how much to charge for rent? And also, what's the percent yield on that investment? So rental property is an investment. You just have to figure out, is it working for you, not working for you? How do you look at the numbers? Rent is received from the rental property. That rent is like interest on dividends from other investments. So with other investments like stock, it depends on what the stock market is at. For this one, you know how much rent you're going to get, so you already know it's kind of like a given. The only thing is what if the renter doesn't pay for it? So there's that, and then you have to know when to kick them out if they're not paying and that kind of thing. It's not all profit. You have to consider annual expenses like mortgage, interest, taxes, repairs, insurance, and depreciation. So let's say you bought a little investment property and you fixed it all up and you rented it to somebody for a certain amount of time. They left, and when you went in there to look to see what kind of damage was done, it was trashed. You have to maybe collect some more money or don't give them their deposit back, but sometimes people do things to the apartment that cost more money than what that deposit is worth. So make sure you're kind of considering that when you let people rent. Also, you would have to fix it again before you rented it out, so you'd probably lose a few months of rent while fixing. Can you do the work yourself? Do you have to hire it done? That kind of thing. So here are the formulas. They don't look very difficult, and this first one is not. The second one's just a little bit different, and you have to look at it a little different. Okay, Nadine purchased an older 2-bedroom, 1-bath home for $87,500. She made a $27,500 down payment, mortgaged the rest. So with this, if you have cash up front to pay for the place, then you're already kind of ahead. If you pay money and you have to get a loan for it, then you have to make sure that you can cover the loan payment without having to kick in more money yourself. So her annual expenses, all in one sum, were for mortgage, interest, taxes, repairs, insurance, and depreciation, and those totaled $6,490. She rented the house for $795 a month. So what's the net income? So first of all, the $795 is every month, so you take that times 12. And then we're going to add on the other amount that we have invested, $27,500. No, don't add that on. Sorry. Let's do the $795 times 12 first. Oops. So far, if the renters pay, she's going to take in $9,540. And that would be for the whole entire year. So you have to think about what's your payment for the year. Is it covering those interest payments and things that you have to make? Also, the amounts that her expenses total are $6,490. So we're actually going to take that out. So her expenses are going to be taken off of that income that is being made. And that leaves about $3,050. So maybe that'll go up when there's no more mortgage payments, or maybe there's no more repairs to be made and that kind of thing. So this is what it is now, but if any of those things that are taking out for the expenses change, then it would become a little bit higher, and that would be a good thing. Now, the next one is, what is the annual yield? You're going to take the net income that we just calculated and divide it by the amount of money that so far she has put into it, which is the down payment only. And then remember, it's a percent, so we're going to take it times 100 after we got our answer on our calculator. So 11.09%. So the annual yield on this one is about 11.09% or 11.1 or so. What if you had some recalculations and it went up to 13.7? Is that good or is that bad if the amount goes up? For annual yield, annual percentage yield. It's good. So the higher the percent is, the better the investment it is for you. So that's what you're looking at. So they don't really compare them to anything, I don't think, but the higher the percent on this last question, the better the investment is. Rental properties are purchased for the income the property can produce. We have a couple more formulas, so let's see how they work. If Nadine desired a 15% annual yield rather than the 11.09% that we just found, what rent would she have to charge? So let's say she wants the investment to make her more money. She wants to know what kind of rent she should charge. So this is kind of a good question for everybody. You don't just go, I think I'm going to go 1,100 if 1,100 in your area isn't doable. So let's see what we have to do there. So first we need to see what that desired amount is. So 15% times the amount of money that she has put into it so far, which is that down payment amount. So that would be $4,125. So the next part of it, we're going to add $4,125 plus those expenses that she had. And then we're going to divide it by 12. So we want everything to be included this time. You don't have to take anything out because they're looking to see how much the renter has to pay, not you. So $4,125 plus $6,490 is $10,615. If you're going to do this on your calculator, hit your equals first before you divide by 12, and then divide it by 12. You get $884.58. So to make this an exact 15% annual yield, they would have to charge $884.58. Now, if you're talking about rent, is there anybody out there that's probably going to charge you $884.58? Probably going to round it. Okay, they're not going to round it down because then they wouldn't make the 15%. But maybe they'd round it to $890, or maybe they would just round it up to $900. Most of the time, your rent is $225 or $250 or $500 or $650. Usually, you don't have weird rent amounts like that. So I would probably round it up to $900. And that would make your percentage just a little bit higher even. But here they're asking for exact numbers, but to be real, you kind of have to, make it work and probably round it off at some point. So not extreme things that you need to do, but you have to look at the numbers and know where, what the words mean in order to use them correctly.